Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. This time is a tutorial on how one of the characters from my game UpWakeNing was made. I started by creating the clown head in a program called Sculptress by Pixelogic, but as far as I can find, Sculptress was replaced by ZBrush Pro Mini, that is a mini free version of ZBrush which also includes Sculptress. Tools are very basic, as you can see. We're having a creasing tool, a drawing tool, a flattening tool, an inflating tool, a pinching tool, and a smoothing tool. For the clown, I have the symmetry on, and I start by making the hair using the inflating tool and randomly inflating the mesh, putting more pressure where I want the spikes of the hair to be more pronounced. I use the same tool for the eyes. I make sure to select invert in the top left corner, and I change the size and strength of the brush. I make the eye sockets and I move to the nose using the same inflate tool without the invert active, and I inflate the mesh to make the nose. Using the creasing tool with invert active, I make the mouth and move on to painting the head. For the material, I chose the default and went with the white color to paint the face first. Next, I moved to color red and paint the hair, making sure everything is covered. I go back to white and lower the hardness of the paintbrush to soften the harsh hairline. I moved to the eyes. First, I chose black and made the outline of the eyes. Next, I make the red iris and go over with a smaller brush to make the black pupil. I go back to red and paint the nose. Lastly, I draw the mouth using the red color again. To export this object, I go to Show Advanced Tools and save the text map. This will save a PNG with your skin. Don't worry if it looks weird like this, it is normal. Next step is to export this as a wavefront object file. Once all that is done, I open Blender. Blender is one of the most used 3D software that is completely free. I start by making the box using the cube mesh. I go to edit mode in the upper left corner and click on the face select tab. Next, I select the top face and go to edge, subdivide and subdivide this face by 4. I selected the center 9 faces and subdivided them again by 1. I select the middle 5x5 faces and subdivide a third time by 10. With the faces, we just subdivided selected. I go to mesh, transform to sphere, and I drag my mouse until a perfect circle appears. The last step for this box is to delete the faces by pressing delete faces. For the spring, we start by adding a new circle mesh. I rotate this mesh by 90 degrees on the x-axis by pressing R followed by X and 90. I press 5 to face the mesh flat and move the circle a bit to the right. On the tools panel on the right should be what looks like a wrench. The Modify Properties tool. Click on that, then add a modifier and look for screw. Select Y in the Axis tab and we can start building the spring. Change the screw and the iteration tabs to your liking and you're done. Now import your clown head and assemble the object. For materials, click on each object individually and create material. You do that by looking for an icon that looks like a planet on the toolbar on the right. One important step is to name all the material accordingly, because if you use Unity to import these 3D models in a game, this step will make your life easier. For the materials, I'm using image textures. Click on the material and look for base color. Select image texture and open the image you want to choose. Repeat for all the objects. As you can see, the weird looking image from exporting the text map in sculptures looks perfectly when applied to the object. The last step is to export the object. Again, if you're using Unity, always delete the camera and the light that are presets in Blender, because it will mess up with the camera and lighting of your game. I always export my objects as wavefront OBJ files. In the Options tab on the right, I select the Objects and OBJ Object tab, and Material Groups tab, and under Transform, I sometimes modify the forward and up. In this case, I went with Y being forward and setup. That's it, you're done. If you like this video, don't forget to like, it does help my channel a lot. Subscribe if you're not already a member, and if you have any question, leave me a comment and I will reply to you as soon as possible. Bye bye!